I was trying to see if I could find an ounce of weed. I had a buddy I'd met in London, Ontario when I was going to college, Fanshawe, looking for some marijuanas. First year in. I had a buddy. He hooks me up. He's like, I know a guy. He can sell you an ounce. Here's his number and stuff. And so I text him. And he's like, yo, meet me at the strip mall around the corner. I was like, all right, sounds okay. You know.
Yeah. Typical.
We're gonna meet in public, sure. Yeah. It's kind of hard to sign people in the dorms there at that point, anyways. So it was all right spot. Anyways, I figured when I went there though, you know, I'm looking around. I'm like, I don't see anyone sketchy. I'm the only sketchy person hanging out here. Yeah. I'm like texting, you know, you here? He's like, oh, come meet me around back. Around back. Shit. Hopefully I don't get jumped at this strip mall.
Yeah.
Looking around, I'd never even looked around down that street. And so there's just like a road going this way and a road going this way.
Yeah.
And I'm going around the corner, heading this way. Right in the strip mall, there's like a
yeah.
FedEx. There's an alleyway there.
Okay.
And so immediately from the sidewalk, as soon as I look down this alleyway, I can see him just come down. And I'm like, fuck, this is the guy, you know?
Yeah.
So I'm like, I'm not gonna just bail. I should have probably just bailed on this guy, but I was desperate at this point. So I roll up on this guy and I'm like, maybe I can do this quick and get out of here.
Yeah.
You know, and as I'm walking past the FedEx, there's like the front of the FedEx, there's this alley, and then there's dumpsters here, right?
Yeah.
And then the parking lot of the FedEx is here, like just right in front of the dumpsters. So he was hiding from the trucks, kind of, but like it was just like an open space there. And he's like got a whole big, like probably like a quarter pound of weed sitting there. He's got a scale, baggies all out on the ground, weighing up.
What?
And he's like, yeah, man, 1 second, I just gotta weigh up these. He's weighing up different ounces. I'm like, dude, what the fuck? Like, do you not have a home?
High school kid.
I'm just like, yeah, I'm like super sketched. Yeah, I think he was. I'm like super sketched out.
Yeah.
And like, and I'm like making things worse probably because I'm just like looking around. Gotta get out of here, you know?
Yeah.
Leave
so
somehow
awesome.
like no into anything. It was like crazy. Sells me an ounce, no problem. And every time this guy fucking he'd be like, I don't know. Just thought it sounded cool.
Yeah, it's brown. That's what one guy said when he was saying me that time. It's brown. I don't know what he was thinking saying it. But yeah. I can't hear you right now. Might be having technical difficulties.
It looks like dirt. Yo, the second time though,
yep.
The guy tells me to meet him at an elementary school.
Yeah.
The fucking playground of an elementary school near his house. I take the bus from college to this fucking place.
Yeah.
And this guy's he hands me the weed, an ounce of weed, in a piece of paper, half the size of the weed. Like it was open, all just out, you know.
Just had to throw it in your pocket.
I had to put it in, I had a backpack. I had to put it in my backpack and ride the bus home with that.
Loose.
I was like, I told my friend who'd hooked me up, I was like, never again, man. That dude is whack job. I'm not buying from that guy. You need to find me someone else to buy from because you're an asshole for even telling me.
Was it good bud at least?
It was actually pretty good. It was good bud.
So I went back to him another day. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah. I wouldn't have went twice if it wasn't good.
Nice. That's dope. But yeah, there's enough good bud around London you could get away from him. But that's hilarious, man. Sounds like me dealing buds. You'll hear more about that soon. Yeah, we had technical difficulties earlier.
Wednesday.
Yeah, exactly. We had technical difficulties earlier, so welcome to the Rap Drug Spotlight. We're late. I think it's 4:20 Japan time, maybe, or somewhere in the middle of the Pacific Ocean. It's 4:20. If you're on a boat working.
Working out there, we're here for you.
Yeah, exactly.
If you're coming in live today, maybe you should check it out earlier next Sunday. We usually come in live earlier.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, check out at, if you're up 4:20 a.m. Pacific, or take that first toke, or 7:20 Eastern time. Check on the feed and you'll find out when we're going live. If we're not up, you'll notice nothing's there.
Yeah.
But
notice we're sleeping in.
Yeah, exactly. But appreciate you coming out and putting up with us. Really thankful for the fans we got so far. We see the YouTube keeps climbing. We like you guys for putting up with the video quality we've got for now. If you can't tell, we're making things better every week. Bringing in some cool stuff always. So keep sending those funds to paypal.me/rapdrugspod so we can get more cool shit like this from an actual Wiz Khalifa and Currency concert on the 2009 tour in London, Ontario. Call back. Lots of dope smokers there. Yeah, we were smoking some weed in the crowd at that show. Yeah. But craziest thing at that show, someone
Rap Drug Pod listeners there.
Exactly. Somebody passed out in the fucking audience right by us.
Yeah.
Like, I had to elbow people out of the way for the joint. That was much earlier. And I gripped onto it hard, and my buddy Simps was up top, this big black guy. I'm lucky I got cool friends. So he helped out and fucking muscled people off the top, and I had the bottom covered, and we managed to get away with that bad boy.
Nice.
So some free merch, and I couldn't find any merch for sale at the concert either, which was brutal. But yeah, in the middle of the
only throw stuff away for free.
Exactly, it's all for free. Because he wants you to throw some free weed on the stage. But yeah, I actually before I get into the story of throwing weed on the stage at the Juicy J concert in London, also Wiz Khalifa, that was way back their 2050 tour. But yeah, with the Currency Wiz, this girl passed out behind us. We had blazed before we got inside and took some edibles, and I think my buddy Sims had a blunt he was smoking on his own, which he took inside and was smoking. But we just had a few beers, but this girl behind us just passed out and hit the floor mid-show. And then she got carted off and nothing happened. Everybody was back to partying. It was dope. I don't think they even noticed it on stage. Real professionals. Currency and Wiz stand out of the nine with the McQueen bottle. 2009, right on time.
The people with the purple drink.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, back from my university days listening to How Fly. That was the soundtrack to my life, these guys. So that was good. But before that, when I was growing up as a kid, 3-6 Mafia was so dope. And the Hollywood, I don't know what the fuck their show was called. Adventures in Hollywood. And Juicy J and DJ Paul were pretending to get famous. Or they were already famous and won an Academy Award. So Juicy J was taking acting classes, and DJ Paul was just chilling out, smoking weed and checking shit out.
Nice.
Really good MTV show that was hilarious. But I love Juicy J, and he ended up hooking up with Wiz. So I had actually seen Wiz with Mac Miller and Kendrick Lamar earlier in the summer in Toronto. Great live show with swimming pools, and Mac Miller did his Macadelic album. Rest in peace.
Nice.
And Wiz did a lot of the same songs he did in the next show in the 2050 tour. This was the Under the Influence tour that I first went to. And at the 2050 tour, Juicy J was opening for Wiz. And so in London, surprisingly, it was a pretty emptied out venue because you weren't allowed to smoke in it and shit. And I had brought a ton of joints in. Like, I filled a cigarette pack up with, like, joints. So I had, like, 15 joints. And I had, like, my stupid bucket hat, like, just some fucking, some beige-looking one, and just, like, a white button-up shirt, kind of like this. So I was just the whitest guy in there. Went over to the left speaker, because Juicy J was coming out to the speaker, and, like, so I found my way to the top, was filming him, he started talking to me, I, like, dropped my BlackBerry phone in my pocket, and, like, tried to pass him a joint. He's like, he goes to grab, he's like, it's too hot here, man. don't get busted smoke, man. Because they were taking people out for smoking. Like, they weren't allowed to smoke there. Because it was an all-ages show.
GCJ's a G.
Yeah, so I was throwing mad joints on the stage. But he was so dope, yeah. And he did, like, the Slob on My Knob song, and then, like, it was at the time, he brought the girls up on stage to shake their ass and twerk, and it was like the start of that Drake song. Put your nose on my keyboard. What you following me for? There's a room for love. What you bothering me for? This ain't no fucking sing along. Boom, 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 boom. So yeah, he'd play that, and just the girls would go nuts, shaking their asses, and then he'd sing Slob on My Knob. It was just so dope, so dope. I'm so glad I saw him live.
Yeah.
But yeah, great times in London at concerts, and some shenanigans too with the whole college things. And I missed the Fanshawe riots though. I had some friends who were there. You might have heard about them on Jimmy Kimmel way back in the day when it happened. He even talked about it. And, like, I guess Gumby, there was someone in a Gumby suit there dancing and stuff. That was big at the time. But a friend from Chatham actually was one of the people who participated in flipping a CTV vehicle. And it got lit on fire and destroyed. And another buddy was there. He was like, yeah, it all started because things were getting a little nuts on St. Patrick's Day, and people started going on their roofs. And the cops were asking people to get off, and they started throwing stuff at the cops. So the cops left and came back in plain clothes. And then then the cops escalated things a lot. And I guess, like, people started throwing furniture off the roofs, and, like, fires were starting, and then someone threw a propane tank on a fire, and it just, like, that blew up, and, like, the road was destroyed and had to get replaced, and people got kicked out of school, like my buddy. I got on house arrest. Sweet. It was wild.
Fight the system.
Yeah, exactly. Meanwhile, I was in Windsor, OG of cancel culture. We got our fucking Tiger canceled. So yeah.
Yeah, nice.
Basically what happened, it was the dumbest thing that could have ever happened. And, like, I can't believe we just had no brain whatsoever. So I went to University of Windsor. It's a border city, so you could go across the border and grab, like, cheap liquor. So, like, when we had a kegger, we ended up also getting a bunch of cheap liquor and making some super strong ass, like, grape juice jungle juice. So it was grape flavored jungle juice, and the girls at the party were referring to it as rape juice. They just made the G silent. So no one was harmed at the kegger that I'm aware of. None of this shenanigans was going on. It was just a joke that somebody had made, which was very inappropriate. The silent G was stupid. So yeah, the next kegger, they end up trying to cancel my roommate, my musician roommate. He's from Florida. His parents were from Remington, so he was there for, like, a dual citizenship kind of thing, but he's been playing piano since he was, like, 2, and he was doing music therapy. So he was already with, like, the woke crowd, you know, the artsy type. So this was way back, though, 2010. My dumbass doormate, who I'll tell you guys more about that guy, too. He was my doormate for long. He made the Facebook event public and was advertising, like, a raffle for a bong. and like just shit like that. So like we had no liquor license, we had no insurance, we didn't have the OLG on board, but we're like advertising a kegger on Facebook, like within, like basically on the university campus. We were one street off, like living down the street from a professor and shit. So it escalated enough that like he was getting into trouble with the school, and the cops ended up coming to our place like one weekday morning, like before it was going down, to like kind of muscle us, shake us down. And the windows were wide open, and we were blasting some fucking, like, probably Juicy J mixtape that was on business too. Go get that check. Such a good mixtape. But yeah, we were blasting that shit, just busting up weed on the table. Probably had a few bongs out. Like, I know personally I had multiple bongs. And we were either rolling up a big blunt or using the bongs. There was like 5 of us. And we end up coming out on the balcony because we hear someone knocking, and there's these fucking cops there. Normally we would just like tell people to come in. I think we might have been telling them to come in. Like, come on in, and they're like, no, you don't want us to.
Yeah. Because
they could see us through the window and hear what's going on. So we come out in our shirts, and they shake us down, and we end up just deciding to call the thing off. But we still hang out on the front yard. We still already bought the keg. So we end up like having a keg with some roommates. Or maybe we bought the liquor. I don't remember what the hell we bought, but it was some dumb shit. And I was in Windsor missing out on this beautiful Fanshawe riot.
Yeah.
Well, my friends were flipping over vehicles, and my wife's roommates were watching explosions. So yeah, good times. But probably not as good a times as the times when Nikola Tesla was alive, if you were a scientist. Like probably awful times if you weren't a white man.
Yeah.
In America.
Yeah.
And even still, I think he was alive during most of the Depression and stuff like that.
Yeah. It's a rough life.
Yeah, very rough life, to be honest. Sorry. Not good times at all. Yeah, dope scientists.
Making dope ass shit.
Yeah, dope scientists.
Making glowing birds and fucking...
Not like us, making degenerates drunker at kegs and inventing cancel culture. Yeah. By saying retarded stuff like rape juice. like what? I can't believe how dumb we were. Way to go, stupid ass dormmate. What a jackass. That guy's a retard.
That's what you get.
Maybe he actually is mentally challenged. I shouldn't say that.
Starts throwing parties. No one will cancel those.
Yeah, exactly. Project X style. They'll come. We'll keep partying. We'll just dose the cops.
Yeah. We'll burn them to the ground.
Yeah.
Dose the cops.
Pre-party. You just fucking... We know where they get coffee from.
We're going to put LSD on every brat in the city.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. We put it on their gun because we know they'll be like, oh, like before every shift. That's what cops do. They're like, is it worth it? Yeah, that's the only way they can. That's the only way they can ejaculate. They're like, oh. No, I'm teasing. Only those pussy cops that shoot people. Like, how do you, like, I can't believe you become a cop if you're gonna be someone who shoots somebody. Like, what a fucking dick. Like, why don't you just become, like, something cool, like a fucking mafia hitman, or join the military and go overseas, like... Like, you don't have to be a cop to kill somebody.
Didn't pass the psyche valve.
Isn't there not for cops, too? There should be. Yeah.
It's more lenient.
True.
I don't know.
Probably, you're right. Depends what neighborhood you're patrolling.
First time from the military psyche valve?
Yeah. If it's Connecticut...
The police one, they're prepared.
Oh, yeah, exactly. They've practiced that. They're not going to fail it again.
Yeah.
They know just what to say.
You can't walk in there and tell them I want to kill people.
Yeah, just like John...
okay with it.
Yeah, exactly. Just like John G. Trump to the FBI.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, should we I should quit going on a tangent.
Which one's
Unless
John G?
John G is the
Uncle of Donald
thief,
Trump.
a great uncle maybe, but I'm pretty sure he's an uncle.
The thief. Well,
Yeah.
Is he a thief? Like
We don't know.
worked at
It's
MIT?
speculation. It's speculation that he's a thief.
He just ended up with the files somehow. He was just working around, you know.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
He was assigned to it.
To be honest, there's so much of Tesla's life that's like controversial. This is no surprise whatsoever.
Yeah.
Like, at least to me.
I mean, he was probably doing psychedelics.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Obviously. Who? John G. Trump or Tesla or both?
Both.
Unlocking the keys to the universe.
They
Yeah.
knew what was up.
Yeah. Exactly.
Definitely Tesla.
Visualizing.
That guy had some whack ideas.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, some wild shit. Hey. He was such a visionary.
Yeah.
Other than the death beam, what the fuck was that?
I don't know.
But yeah,
His plan.
that was so funny.
It was
Well,
all about just he was about nuclear deterrent before it was nuclear, you know?
yeah. His death beam was the idea at World War II. So
Yeah.
height of World War II. So it was nuclear. There was nuclear stuff.
Yeah.
But you're right. That was the long-term goal of death beam type of
I don't even understand the
experiments.
death beam though. Like, where are you gonna put it? Did it ride on like the back of a truck or something? Or like,
No, I think it's kind of like
Like-
the
shoot into space and reflect back down to Earth? I don't
Yeah,
know how you fucking use
that would be the idea.
That's way too
Or
elaborate.
like you fly a plane over and you just death beam below. Like
Plane?
it just like lights everything on fire thousands of feet below. Yeah. I don't
I
think
mean, they probably got death beam satellites. Let's be
yeah,
honest.
yeah, exactly. We're living on a Death Star. Like
They
the
don't-
Earth is robotic, let's be honest.
Yeah.
This is all
Go
fake.
follow
It's a simulation.
in the north and the south.
Yeah. Well, it's a simulation, Todd. Have you been to the bottom of the ocean? Has anyone you know been to the bottom of the ocean? How deep have they been? Do you think it ends a little bit further than there? They're in on it?
I don't know.
Probably. You heard it here first on the Rap Drugs Pod. The ocean isn't as deep as they say. And you can probably swim in lava, too.
That's actually extremely shallow.
Yeah. You can probably swim in lava. Lava's probably fine to drink, even.
Buy a limited edition lava suits at Rap Drugs Pod.
Yeah, exactly.
He's like,
The Bong Talk production shirt, that's why it costs so much. It's lava retardant.
it's lava retarded.
Yeah. But yeah, they're, I don't know if anyone's actually lying to you about that stuff, but if you believe in flat Earth, you should believe in shallow oceans.
Yeah.
How does deep oceans make sense with a flat Earth? Like, wouldn't it be like at least like kind of like like a little angle down or something? Like, or
Well, it's like
is it all water around the edge of us? Like, I don't understand
big
it.
puck.
Yeah.
Apparently, the edge is all ice.
If you
Giant circular ice wall.
my question, that sounds cool, but my biggest question is like, if you flew to Japan, and then you flew to UK, and you've flown to UK from Japan, and you're flat earther, do you still believe the Earth is flat? Or does that like just debunk it? Like, do you just need
What do
a
you
flight around the world to debunk it?
What's the problem?
If
Well,
flat earthers just flew around the world one time,
Thought
would they
about
get it
They have
debunked?
conferences, man.
No, but I want them
They
to
have
do the
to
flight.
fly around the world to get to the conference that they have. So a national conference. They're fucking. These guys have thought about this stuff. See, they think that the airplane companies are all in on this scheme with the UN to make everybody think that the world is flat. So the radars trick the pilots into thinking that when they're flying around the Earth, they're actually flying in a circle.
That sounds really expensive.
Yeah, I know. It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. It's cool. It's cool though.
Logan Paul went to one of the conferences, eh? He's a flat earther, I think. or
Nice.
Tends to be.
It's a really good discourse thing. Well, yeah, that's everyone's pretending. Like,
Yeah, I think Shaq too.
yeah, they're probably Q also,
Yeah.
or Antifa, whatever fake shit they believe in. Yeah, Kanye is gonna be president in 10 states.
He's gonna secede.
Yeah, that's
The
true.
Northwest.
No, the Northwest and Virginia. So dope, though. I think the USA should break up. Just split off all those any country any state that has a deficit, eliminate from the union.
Yeah.
And start over.
Yeah, eliminate them, and they can join when they pay off their deficit.
Yeah, exactly.
They pay off their loan.
Exactly. Directly to the U.S. deficit. That's what you needed.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's how you pay off the $1 trillion.
They should just.
Apple. You know how Apple has $2 trillion? You just make a wealth tax of 50% for any company that's over $1 trillion.
You just seize Apple.
Yeah, exactly. That's genius. That's genius. Well, we know it's a government front anyways.
They should just take Google from an alphabet company and tell them they have to buy it back.
Like
that's how we solve this
I
problem.
know I talk about Elon Musk and Tesla being a government front a lot, but
yeah.
I really honestly think Apple's much more likely to be a government front because Steve Jobs and Tim Cook are both robots.
They're robots?
Yeah. Like Bill Gates is a normal person. But Steve Jobs is just an idea.
Like a genuine, Steve Rogers.
Yeah.
Steve Jobs, I don't even think is real.
Like, he's just unless he was
always a hologram.
Yeah, unless he was always on mushrooms and acid, like, or is the most autistic person ever that he lives in an alternate reality. Like, how did he come up with all this insane stuff? Like, iPod, iPhone, iPad, like, blowjobs.
Bill Burr's got a good blowjob. Bill Burr's got a good bit on that.
Yeah?
You heard that one?
Okay.
Steve Jobs bit?
No, I don't want to steal his material either. I probably have, and I'm not. It's good?
But the gist is that he's saying Steve Jobs didn't come up with any of that. He told people to come up with it.
Nice. Well, that's most likely. That is the most likely shit.
Yeah, exactly.
But at the same time,
there's a bunch of dope-ass engineers that worked at Apple.
Or it's a government.
Like someone else's ideas in the first.
Well, the odds are it's a military front, and that's how, like, the ideas are come up with.
They set it up like he stole information.
So
people are distracted.
Yeah.
The secret is.
Well, like, who has the best technology, corporate or military?
Neither.
Military always. Like, unless you're like always.
Yeah.
This social media stuff is probably intelligence created. Like,
I know. Like,
it's
stuff like the Manhattan Project.
Yeah.
Fucking literally took a town, told everyone that they had to leave, kicked everyone out of their homes, an entire town, and then moved an entire new group of people into these homes, set up a factory where no one knew what their job was. They all just knew they had to do this one thing, and every piece of it was a part of the fucking Manhattan Project. No one who worked there knew. It was like an entire town of like a couple thousand people that were first removed, and then new people moved in. No one knew what they were working on the entire time. They just pressed buttons and stuff.
Wow. That's so awesome.
For like the head scientist, like Einstein shit. Yeah, it's so crazy. It's the craziest thing. And then it's like we pretend like they can't do that anymore or something. That was only 50 years ago.
That's true. Yeah, people can be delusional, right?
And a lot of people don't even remember that.
No.
Like,
not even close.
No, that's how that went down.
No.
Right?
Most people have no fucking clue what's going on, right?
Yeah, they're all dumb. That's why we got to tell you.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah.
That's why you listen to the Rap Drugs Rep pod right now, so you can find out about these Tesla papers.
Yeah.
And how he was robbed by the fucking, I don't know who it was. What were these guys' names? The alien
potentially the FBI.
Of aliens?
Yeah, so it started out like the FBI was the first one to be on the case. Like, so first, the morning after the inventor's death, his nephew Sava Kosanovic hurried to his room at the Hotel New Yorker.
Yeah.
And by the time he arrived, Tesla's body had already been removed. So, like, Kosanovic suspected that someone had already gone through his uncle's effects. Technical papers were missing, as well as a black notebook. He knew Tesla kept a notebook with several hundred pages, some of which were marked government. P. Foxworth, assistant director to the New York FBI office, was called in to investigate. According to Foxworth, the government was vitally interested in preserving Tesla papers. 2 days after Tesla's death, representatives of the Office of Alien Property went to his rooms at the New York hotel and seized all his possessions. So first the FBI came in and cherry-picked the most important stuff very quickly, cleaned up quick. Tesla supposedly died of natural causes. He was a very old man, so it's very likely. Yeah, cardiac arrest at the age of like...
He's only 60.
No, wasn't he a little older? Maybe he was only 60. You'd know more than me.
60.
Probably.
I think I just read that. You should fact check that.
Yeah, but the Tesla papers are insane. Fact check that Tesla birthday to be how old he was when he died. But I think it was late 60s, if anything, which... Even still, that was life expectancy at the time.
Yeah, died from like a coronary heart attack thing.
Yeah. So also
Sounds pretty legitimate.
Also
Controversial.
a very popular way to kill operatives at the time as well, though. Was cardiac arrest. Like,
I mean, they did have the self-tossing.
a lot of the OSS members died of
Hotel only thing they were afraid of. When?
Yeah, we see it time and time again where American intelligence agents die of cardiac arrest who had secrets, maybe before they get dementia.
But I just... I felt like he's killing them. I feel like they were just waiting. I think they were just sitting on him the whole time, waiting, because they were so afraid that his cousin or whatever, or whoever was supposed to get the papers in Yugoslav, they were just scared of that happening. That they were sitting and waiting for the minute he died. They were on him the whole time.
Yeah, 100%. It probably wasn't like it was 1950s maybe or something like that. So 1940s even. So of course, like they probably didn't have the heart attack shit going yet. The MK Ultra didn't develop it yet to kill themselves on, or each other on. So George White could dose them all with it. So yeah, Dr. John G. Trump was an electrical engineer with the National Defense Research Committee of the Office of Scientific Research and Development. He was also part of MIT. As we know, MIT and military have big ties in that way. Was called in to analyze the Tesla papers in the Office of Alien Property custody. Following a 3-day investigation, Dr. Trump concluded his thoughts on Tesla's and efforts during at least the past 15 years were primarily of a speculative, philosophical, and somewhat promotional character, often concerned with the production and wireless transmission of power, but did not include new, sound, workable principles or methods for realizing such results. But I think Tesla came up with a lot of cool, different kind of shit. Like, 15 years?
No, he definitely did.
Maybe they're just cherry picking that 15 years. The end of his life, he did nothing.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Maybe they were just super pro Edison or some shit. I don't know.
What else did
I'm not really sure.
What else did he come through with in his lifetime?
I mean,
do you remember?
LSD, and then he was just trying to duff, and it just never worked out.
True.
Where he tried to build like the fucking electrical towers.
Yeah, yeah.
That
he was the OG of 5G.
Worked, but...
He was trying to build Corona before it was a thing. Give y'all it. So that they did. He was like coming up with a bunch of different stuff to alternative to nukes, like 5G. Death Ray, same thing.
Yeah. Like, the fucking force field wall, the giant force field that surrounded the United States and could stop airplanes, melt airplane engines.
Oh, flat Earth.
Plan.
You mean he created flat Earth? But yeah, no, just kidding. He created some. He was working on real shit. He was working. Yeah, he made the force field for flat Earth. He was working on real shit, not fake news.
Yeah.
but yeah, Tesla was a boss and a crazy inventor, and he might have been a bit ahead of his time. Because he did also seem to be like onto the same ideas that the Russians were in the Cold War.
Yeah,
but
like,
yeah. So
what do you mean?
Well, just after World War II, there was there got a renewed interest in beam weapons, obviously because of the whole nuke thing. People were scared.
Yeah.
So there was a Patterson Air Force Base, an operation codenamed Project Nick, was heavily funded and placed under Commander Brigadier General L.C. Craigie to test the feasibility of Tesla's concepts. Details of the experiment were never published. Project was apparently discomputed. Something peculiar happened and the copy of the Tesla papers disappeared. Nobody knows what happened to them. Supposedly that happened during Project Nick, an Air Force project, which, as we know now, the Air Force, or even at that time, the Air Force was in charge of the space military at the time.
They're just trying to figure out how to put that death rate space satellite.
Yeah. So in 1952, Tesla's remaining papers and possessions were released to Sava Kosanovic and returned to Belgrade, Yugoslavia, which at the time was under Soviet regime. Yeah. So for many years, under Tito's communist regime, it was extremely difficult for Western journalists and scholars to gain access to the Tesla's archive in Yugoslavia. Even then, they were allowed to see only selected papers. This was not the case for Soviet scientists who came in delegations during the 1950s. Concerns increased in 1960 when Soviet Premier Khrushchev announced to Supreme Soviet that a new fantastic weapon was in the hatching stage. Work on beam weapons also continued in the United States. In 1958, the Defense Advanced Research Projects Agency, DARPA, initiated a top-secret project codenamed Seesaw at Lawrence Livermore Laboratory to develop a charged particle beam weapon. More than 10 years and $27 million later, the project was abandoned because of the projected high costs associated with the high implementation, as well as formidable technical problems associated with atmosphere, propagating a beam through very long ranges in the atmospheres. Quote. So, another project, Project Seesaw, also worked on the death beam, but these DARPA scientists said they had no knowledge of Tesla papers. So it might have still been held up with the Air Force. They might have been reading it without knowing it was Tesla papers, or who knows what happened there. But then in the late 70s, this is why the Russia stuff's crazy. So the Cold War goes on. In the late 70s, there was fear the Soviets may have achieved a technological breakthrough, and some U.S. defense analysts concluded that the large beam weapon facility was under construction near the Sino-Soviet border in southern Russia. So like Chinese-Soviet border. Sino is Chinese, Sinology is China. Chinology. The American response to this technological surprise was the Strategic Defense Initiative, announced by President Ronald Reagan in 1983. Today, after half a century of research and billions of dollars investment, the SEI program is generally considered a failure, and there is still no realistic means of defense attack against a nuclear missile attack. So, yeah. So that whole death beam may have been taken to the grave with Tesla if John G. Trump didn't cherry pick it along with the whole time machine stuff.
Tesla's time machine?
Yeah. Have you...
quite definitely invented?
Yeah. Did you read any of the other articles on this, or have any other topics, Todd, other than that ridiculous story?
No, I did read a bit about Trump's dad, though, when I was reading about John there.
Oh, yeah?
And Frederick.
Oh, what's up with Frederick?
He's got a sketchy-ass past. So they're both Germans, right?
Yeah.
I
don't know much about them, though.
They're from a place called Bavaria. It's like southern Germany.
Nuts.
And I think when they left, it was like its own country. It was like 1900s still.
Yeah.
I'm not really totally sure about German history. Anyways, though, His dad was, according to the Guardian, like a draft dodger, just like I think Trump was, wasn't he?
Yeah, that's true. Trump was.
So yeah, like father, like son. And apparently, his dad was also allegedly part of the KKK, according to Vice.
Wow. I mean, who knows? Vice is pretty.
Arrested with 12 other guys. Yeah, it seemed like a reach. Seemed like they were reaching. Maybe might have been some other Frederick Trump.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, probably not, but it is possible, right?
Yeah. But apparently there was a minute where John almost ended up being in real estate with his brother Frederick.
Probably
But it ended up not working out, probably because old Freddie was getting into the mafia too hard. He ended up being investigated multiple times after that by the Senate committee and the New York State. I don't think they ever caught him for doing anything, though.
Yeah.
They just investigated him a lot. But yeah, wasn't much else.
Yeah.
I don't think.
No, not really too much. That's crazy, though.
Yeah.
You probably can't find a lot more on Frederick Trump. Just like you can't get Donald Trump's tax returns. I mean, it will all be speculation, just like this stuff here. So, like, Snopes.com, is Barron Trump's Marvelous Underground Journey a real book from the 1890s? 2 books from the 1890s contain seemingly eerie connections to modern-day politics. Author Ingersoll Lockwood wrote the books Barron Trump's Marvelous Underground Journey and 1900 or The Last President in the 1890s. Rating. Mostly true. This is not a conspiracy. This is real. This is some real shit. The books are real. The connections are pretty stupid other than the name. The connections are pretty stupid other than the name, but I will support it if Donald Trump ends up being the last president. Maybe foreshadowing, probably not. So, origin. Forget for a moment seemingly endless series of revelations about the Trump's White House staffing woes, the Russia conspiracy, pressing matter largely ignored in the mainstream media. Is Donald Trump a time traveler? Question has been circulating on conspiracy theory websites for several months and is backed by various pieces of evidence, such as Donald Trump's uncle, John Trump's purported relationship with Nikola Tesla. Now a series of books published over a century ago is receiving attention for their seemingly all too eerie connections to the Trump family. The books, one of which is titled Barron Trump's Marvelous Underground Journey, have been discussed on both Reddit and 4chan. So, you know, cream of the crop of the internet geniuses.
Yeah. Where all the real conspiracies get
broke through.
Told.
Where all the journalists
unfolded.
Where all the true journalism happens and the breakthroughs go. If it's either there or QAnon.pub, I've been told. Where you get all your facts. Barron Trump's Marvelous Underground are indeed real books by writer Ingersoll. We haven't been able to uncover any evidence proving that Donald Trump and his family have access to a time machine, however. But people think Tesla worked on a time machine and John G. Trump got his hands on time machine stuff with taking over those paperworks. Both the books are archived by the Library of Congress, which is strange, and can be read, maybe because they're from 1890, and can be read in full on archive.org. Barron Trump's Marvelous Underground Journey was published in 1893, and 1900, or The Last President, came out a few years later. According to the Encyclopedia of Science Fiction, Lockwood penned at least one other book about the Barron Trump character. The Travels and Adventures of Little Barron Trump and His Wonderful Dog Bulger, which was published in 1890. A July 2017 article in Newsweek noted several present seeming connections, such as the novel's Russian setting, a character named Don, and a Fifth Avenue hotel in New York City, where Trump Tower currently stands. So that's pretty wild.
Yeah.
But by Lockwood's third novel, The Last President, things become even more eerily linked to the present day. The story begins with a scene from a panicked New York City in early November, describing a state of uproar after the election of an enormously opposed outsider candidate. The entire East Side is in a state of uproar. Police officers shouted through the streets, warning city folk to stay indoors for the night. Mobs of vast sizes are organizing under the lead of anarchists and socialists and threaten to plunder and despoil the houses of the rich who have wronged and oppressed them for so many years. Like this, does this not sound like this election? Like,
and remember, this book was written 100 years ago.
yeah, over 100 years ago. It was written 126 years ago at least. Yeah. It's from 1896, so 124 plus years ago.
And it gets better.
Yeah. So yeah, crazy shit. Entire East Side an uproar. Anarchists, socialists, stay indoors. Fifth Avenue Hotel will be the first to feel the fury of the mob. The novel continues setting an address in New York City where Trump Tower now stands. Would the troops be in time to save it? So when Trump gets reelected and this happens, just remember Rap Drugs Pod told you so before you, like, don't think about your family and your entire life before you die. Just remember this moment. We were right. However, some of these, yeah,
we were correct.
Yeah, exactly. But just to give Snopes some credit, not Newsweek, some of the connections were slightly exaggerated or outright misstated. Main character is called Baron Trump, not because his name is Baron, but because he is a baron. In other words, that's his title. Shut up. Like, Snopes, shut up.
Yeah.
The book,
Trump's kid is still named Baron.
Yeah, exactly. So the name in the book's William Henrik Sebastian von Trump. So we know Trump is what the Trumps were called. But Wilhelm is his actual name. Classic Nazi. Sorry for anyone named Wilhelm. Newsweek, you're a Nazi though. Newsweek similarly mistakes the Don few characters horrific for his name, calling him a man named Don. In fact, Don is a Spanish honorific meaning Mr. Like Peter Thiel, the Don of the PayPal Mafia. Check out our last episode if you want to hear more about that. Clip's coming out eventually. I'm just lazy this week. In fact, Don is a Spanish honorific meaning Mr. And the character, a learned Spaniard, was introduced by Lockwood on page 2 of Baron Trump's marvelous underground journey. Spaniard Don Constantino Bartolomeu Strefelegathum, commonly known among scholars as Don Thumb. Like, this name is a disease. Do you see that last name? What the hell?
Scientific name for a disease.
Yeah, exactly. And finally, for Trump disease.
The cure for COVID.
Yeah. Hydrochloroquine or mineral miracle solution, aka squirt bleach into your lungs. Q told you to do so. It's smart. Donald Trump told me to squirt bleach in my lungs and I did it and now I'm suing him. For medical malpractice. And Dr. Fauci. He told me to wear a mask and it didn't help. Since Fifth Avenue is a well-known part of New York that has been the site of several high-end restaurants, shops, and hotels since the late 1800s, the Waldorf Astoria was constructed on Fifth Avenue in 1893. This detail seems to be more of a reflection of the time it was written, and less of a presence of the note where Trump Tower would be eventually constructed. Shut up, Soaps. Shut up, Snopes. Shut up! Although these books contain some seemingly bizarre coincidences, they are not evidence that Donald Trump has access to a time machine. Time travel conspiracies such as this one pick and choose material that supports your conclusions while ignoring everything else. Oh, yeah, sorry. Sorry, Snopes, you're right. This is just like Q stuff.
Sounds like Jim Carrey's wife in the number 23.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. This sounds like, yeah, exactly like it. Mrs. Sparrow. This sounds a lot like Jim Carrey's wife in real life, or ex-wife, sorry, Jennifer McCarthy. And getting vaccines.
Yeah.
Get the vaccines, dumbasses. Maybe not COVID vaccine, maybe not flu vaccine, unless you're vulnerable. But like,
Yeah, I don't want autism.
Yeah, I don't want people getting MMR or meningitis. Autism's not that bad. If you listen to,
it's not that bad. Doesn't mean I want it.
When did we talk about it already, or is it coming out soon? Autism and psychedelics.
I'm not sure. I think it came out a week ago or so.
Yeah, I don't remember.
This week.
Yeah, it's coming out.
Can't even keep track. We just got so many episodes.
Yeah, the content's bumping. But yeah, you're gonna hear about autism and psychedelics if you check out our friggin' pods.
People who think that though.
Yeah, exactly. You really, if you do think that, you're actually putting your kid at a disadvantage because it's an evolutionary advantage, dummy.
Yeah.
Check out the science.
Science rules.
But yeah, going back.
It just needs acid too.
Yeah, exactly.
Jeez. Vaccines and acid is actually the how you make geniuses.
Yeah, well, if you can, yeah, that's true. That's true. Give them autism and give them psychedelics, and they'll be fucking genius and normal.
Yeah, it'll be like an army of geniuses.
Yeah, exactly.
Nikola Teslas will be walking around everywhere.
Exactly. You don't need therapy if you have acid and mushrooms and psychedelics. That's why I smoke a lot of weed. Not because it's legal. I only do legal stuff. I only do the legal stuff. Yeah. Employers, I only do legal stuff.
I have
people that donate
since last time.
People that donate to paypal.me.rapdrugspod. I only do acid, mushrooms, DMT, GHB, 2CB, whatever else you want to send to me. Email below and I'll send you a P.O. box address. But not my work address. Although that would be convenient if you sent it right to my office. Maybe I'll do that. Time travel conspiracy theories, such as this one, pick and choose material that supports your conclusions. For instance, these books also contain giant turtles, alternate dimensions, like Ong's hat, a battle with a big white crane, a dog named Boulder, and a little smiling man frozen in time. Since these aspects have no clear connection to Trump's, they are omitted from the conspiracy theory. A little smiling man frozen in time sounds like Kim Jong-un.
Yeah.
But,
to be fair, like we don't know. The crazier things get, man. There might be a giant turtle.
Yeah, exactly. And if you,
what are you gonna say? Native Americans are wrong. There's certain Native Americans that believe we're all riding on a giant turtle.
Yeah, you racists.
Fucking racist.
Yeah, but yeah, if you do want to hear about alternate dimensions that are real, check out Prequel to QAnon, and a clip about Ong's hat.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that's
how we're gonna discover the secret portal into the other dimensions.
Yeah, exactly. Join us in discovering the secret portal. Fund it at paypal.me/rapdrugspod or buy some merch at teesprings.com/rapdrugs. More merch to come.
Do you know Steven Crowder?
Yeah, I know Steven Crowder. I don't know him a lot, but I know who you're talking about.
Yeah. I was watching recently some clips from a year or so ago.
Nice.
Apparently he had Alex Jones on a lot.
Yeah, nice.
And it was so funny.
A lot of people did when he was off the YouTube, which nobody mentions. Yeah.
Yeah.
They like to pretend it was only Joe Rogan, but it was a bunch of other people too.
Everyone was trying to get on the Joe Rogan train.
Yeah. But yeah. Crowder had him on.
Yeah, and they had a long conversation about drugs, and I don't know if you know Crowder's like super against all drugs. He's
what a dumbass.
Like a stickler.
Is he sober?
Christian. They're also Christians. Yeah.
Yeah. If you're sober, if you were an alcoholic or a drug addict, I don't blame you.
He used to work at Fox, and someone said that when he went to the bar, someone at Fox said when he went to the bar, he used to drink milk. They were making fun of him hardcore.
Nice.
He said he sat down cross-legged in the middle of the bar and was drinking a glass of milk.
Nice. Yeah, Todd watches. Todd does the research. I just watch the comedian podcast. I keep up with the funny stuff. Like I'm watching like Mad and Shane's secret podcast talk about that autistic dating show. And Todd's watching Steven Crowder talk about like political shit.
Steven Crowder and Alex Jones though. It was it's a hilarious.
I can't blame you. No, yeah. Anything with Alex Jones is awesome.
Steven Crowder takes him seriously, and I'm surprised anyone takes him seriously.
Oh, I also watched Tinfoil Hat.
Alex Jones is sitting there like. Alex Jones is sitting there though, and he's like, drugs. All they do is they let you see into the fourth and fifth dimension.
Nice.
They are looking into the veil. When you take drugs, you are removing the veil that God gave you, because they're both hardcore Christians.
Yeah.
So they're like, the Bible says that there's a veil, and you need to fucking not take drugs, because God put blinders on you for a reason, so you can operate functionally into the third dimension. And then he just starts yelling, "I don't want to see giant praying mantises. I know a guy who took DMT and he saw a giant praying mantis. Sounds terrifying."
That's funny. Like,
he says Eddie Bravo and Joe Rogan only see nice things when they take DMT because they're good people.
Nice. Alex Jones said that on Crowder?
Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah. But I believe that's true. Like, what is in your mind at the time is what will be brought to light. Like Joe Rogan says about the fucking jokers giving him the finger. I know he always talks about that. But, like, if that's in the back of your mind, it'll come to the front because it's the biggest issue. It's holding you up.
Yeah, like, I think Alex Jones is just low-key scared of his own thoughts.
100%. Well, when you need, maybe something very traumatic has happened to him. Like, because that's the other thing. The more traumatic of experiences I've had, the more I would be scared to do psychedelics. When I realized I had nothing to be scared of, like, I became one of the, I think, biggest advocates in my own mind. But, like, I didn't really start speaking out about it until lately because, I don't know, I guess I was just distracted by other things, like too stricken down by poverty mindset, trying to get myself ahead in life, and doing fine now. So
want to be rich.
Yeah, well, I just wanted to not be poor. That was all. Like, I wanted to be able to afford bills without a credit card. Yeah, preferably. That's the next step. But I don't mind also just living comfortably with very little. As long as I don't have to live off a credit card or someone else's hard work and can support myself. So yeah, I think that's all we really wanted to tell people about the Tesla papers, is that it is some pretty crazy shit, and maybe there is a time machine that went to John Trump, and maybe Barron Trump is traveling around. Maybe Donald Trump is nothing to do, doesn't know anything about
Trump.
it. Yeah.
Trump's come like 8 or 9 times. That's where all these kids came from. That's why they all look so weird.
True.
Charles through time again. He looks weirder.
Yeah. Yeah, it's all the same. It's all the same person, right? I think Barron Trump looks like a lot more like the Melania. Like, I don't know, something about him looks like Eastern European, less Germanic.
He's the normalest looking one, I think. The other ones all look like they got kids in their basement.
They look the same. They look dead in their eyes. Like, they look like they're on Adderall. All of them. Yeah, exactly. Except the black part of their eyes is bigger than the colored part.
Yeah.
but yeah, I don't know if I said it earlier in this pod.
My friends call me Adolf.
Wilhelm.
Wilhelm von Troop.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't know if I said it earlier in this pod. If I haven't, I'd feel awful. If I have, you deserve to hear it again. We really appreciate you guys putting up with us and coming out for us. If you listen to the latest Tim Dillon pod, he's a professional, and even he's having trouble getting stage time. So, we know we're not funny. Maybe just to us, maybe to a select few. We do make some good jokes there. You got to admit, you're cracking up once in a while. But we'll keep getting funnier the more practice we get in. So we really appreciate you guys putting in the groundwork and the hours with us and following us early on. As the open mics become available, we'll be working those too. We're going to keep putting out a couple podcasts a week, so that way we can keep getting sharper, getting smarter, bringing you cool shit like this bad boy, Todd's background. Maybe Todd will have Bluetooth headphones next time. Maybe he'll, brush his teeth like he shaved his hair and beard off. Like, who knows? Maybe I'll take a shower. Probably not, but...
Yeah.
This is the Rap Drugs pod, not the Rap and Catholic Physicist pod. Not the RAP, Research and Physicists Religion pod.
Not the fucking Ned Flanders pod.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, Simpsons is dope though, or was dope, I don't know.
Oh yeah.
R.I.P. Simpsons. Good Simpsons. But yeah, we really appreciate you guys coming out and sticking up with us. We really want to hear your feedback, so don't forget to comment below. Email us or text us if you don't want people to see what you're saying. We'd love to appreciate it. Or if you want to share it on the show or send us a story, a video, an image, send it by email. And don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell. And even more important than that, share below. If you don't like us, you don't want to subscribe, but you know somebody who might, hit the share. We'd really appreciate it. We love you for it. And
even if you know someone who might really, really hate it, send it to them too.
Yeah, exactly. And if you can't put up with the terrible video quality and the disgusting look on my face and Todd's face, it's probably because when you look in the mirror every day, you want to kill yourself. But that's okay, because we're on the podcast player. You don't have to look at any screens or mirrors or reflective surfaces. Just download us on your favorite podcast player. And yeah, give us a 5-star review. And yeah, Todd sounds like an angel. I sound like the devil, so it's good balance. If you believe in that kind of thing, like Alex Jones and Steven Crowder, and if you don't, you're a degenerate like us. So no hate. It's all love for everyone. That's why we smoke weed. One love. Anything else for the fans this week, Todd?
No, I love you all.
All right. Bongtown Productions. Todd